Assalamualaikum and welcome to a new set of Jummah reflections. This is the first video of 3 where I'll be reflecting on year 2020. Okay, so what can I say about year 2020? I really feel like this year was a year where Allah kind of pressed the reset button. Because, thinking to the time leading up to this pandemic, which is the reset button, I mean, there were so many crazy things going on in the world, right? Especially things that had like some kind of religious affiliation, not only genocide, detainments, occupations, just horrible things that were happening to people around the world because of the oppression of others, and with the use of religion as the reason. And I really felt like, I can't pretend, and I won't pretend to assume what Allah might be doing or thinking, but it feels like to me that Allah was like, these people are getting out of control. What's wrong with them? I got to do something and show them that, they are still my creation. I made all of them and they need to get it together. Because I feel like that's what happened in the past, right? I mean, if we think about this is, the community that Musa was living in, they were being called for 500 over years, something like that, to the religion. And not only did they not come to the religion, or very few of them, very few of them, when Allah decided that it was time to wipe the earth clean from those who are the wrongdoers, they still didn't believe. They didn't believe anything that Moses was trying to convey to them. So, of course, they got swept up in the flood, and only those who believe basically survived, right? We know the story. So that was their reset button. That was how Allah helped Moses to clear off those that were oppressing others. So that was the reset button of that time. And then, I think about when Joseph was in Egypt, and he was the magistrate, right? And they had the great famine of that time. And it was, I think I've read this book where the great famine actually traveled, or how can I say, affected places as far as China. I was reading some book where they had ancient recordings of different things that went, around the world. And they must have had trade routes or something with Egypt, because they had recorded that, there was a great shortage that was going on in those lands. In China, they recorded this. So, that was their reset button. And I feel like this is now our reset button. That there is so much corruption, so much evil, so much wrongdoing going on that Allah has to remind us, for those of us who are able to accept and understand the reminder. And for me, the reminder is, number one, that we are all still His creation. Number two, we are all connected. Obviously, we're connected, right? So intricately, so delicately connected. Look how fast this COVID-19 virus spread. And it was just through small contact, close proximity, sneezing, small things that just spread like wildfire, showing just how fragile we are. Not to mention, how COVID-19 affected everything else, and showed us that food security is, it's not secure. So many things that connect us can be just absolutely toppled and turned upside down because of this microscopic thing that you can't even see. And even that reminds me of one of the verses in Al-Baqarah. I think Al-Baqarah. I'm not really good at memorizing Quran verses, but I think it's in Al-Baqarah when the mosquito is mentioned. So in Islamic history, there was a time when the Prophet ﷺ, he was spreading the word, and they were ridiculing him for using so-called insignificant examples to them. And so Allah sends down this verse that says that he could even use something as insignificant as a mosquito to warn the people, to remind the people if he wanted, right? And we know that even though a mosquito is so small, it can be the most annoying, pesky thing ever. And especially if you're allergic to it and you get bitten like me, and then you get these huge welts on your skin. Yeah, that small, tiny little thing is, well, it becomes not so small and insignificant. Okay, so yeah, so I really feel like this year was a reset button by Allah, really reminding us to be aware of each other. And it really, you know, it motivates me to understand others more. I mean, the whole thing that, I mean, like I said, I feel like the whole reason why this reset button needed to happen is because of all these atrocities that were going around the world, people oppressing other people. But now coming out of it and seeing how we're connected, I almost feel like, you know, that whole perspective hopefully should change for everyone. Seeing how we're connected, we need to learn about each other, learn how to live with each other, learn how to, you know, be in harmony with each other, learn how to work with each other, at least for survival, you know? And what's wrong with understanding other people? I really don't get it. I mean, yes, there are going to be people who have different beliefs and different values than you. But is that a reason why you need to oppress and kill them? I really don't think so. And I really don't understand that kind of mentality. It seems to me that it's more rooted in human greed and something very different than just only a misunderstanding. I don't know. I don't know. I can't even fathom what it might be because I just can't get on that wavelength at all. But what I know is that this reset button better change your mind and show you that learning about each other, learning how to work with each other, to stop the spread of the pandemic, for example, to make sure that world food security is stable, for example, to make sure that medical care is available for everyone, for example, all of these things, this should be the great result of this reset button. Yes. So those are my thoughts for this first video. Do let me know what you think about this reset that we've had with the COVID-19 pandemic, and let me know what you've learned over this past year about how Allah has given us the chance to change our thoughts, change our behaviors, change the way that we view ourselves and others. Let me know in the comments, okay? And as usual, if you've enjoyed this content, please do share it with your friends and family, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel and my other social media handles. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Assalamu alaikum. Bye-bye.